Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod. I'm Danny Vega, joined by, some of you know her from the bonus episode. We welcome Karla back to the show.
Glad to be here.
Karla and I just did a really cool house show, Cozy Party.
Yes.
And it was like pajamas and stories. I did some stand-up. It was really fun.
Yeah, it was awesome, actually. Very energizing to be with friends in an intimate environment, what we need in this world.
LA has this thing, and I don't know if it was just my friend groups or if it's LA culture or what, but there's a campiness to LA that it's endearing because it's sort of like everyone here is in show business, and so sometimes that manifests as like, let's just act like let's do a talent show at camp.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely what it was for sure. The lights were dim.
Yeah.
There were like tea everywhere. This kind of sounds a little like an orgy, but that's not what it was.
Yeah, there was no sexual component. It was a good, clean, cozy party.
It really was. It was nice.
I mean, there might have been some flirting.
Excuse me. I just ate a sausage roll.
We just devoured at our social club. There's this woman, Kitty, who has like a business. I don't know how to describe it. Vietnamese? No, it's Chinese and British fusion. How did you get Vietnamese? No.
I thought it was Vietnamese.
And it's like, so she brings like a popcorn looking oven thing and sells delicious treats out of it, such as like a sausage. It's like a British sausage, but in like a Chinese pastry, buttery, croissantish, wrappy thing.
So good.
I don't really, as much baked goods as I eat, I'm not very articulate.
Well, I feel like it's a baked good technically, but it's like savory baked goods are always different. So it's a pastry. It's like a meat pie pastry.
It's a meat pie. There we go.
It is a pie. That's what they're called.
Pie.
Yeah. So it's like a sausage pie. You put some mustard on it. Oh, so good.
So
Very
good.
good.
You know, just casual, like 900 calories to start the day here. We're recording in the morning. But anyway, so you told this really funny story. I did my stand-up at the Cozy Party, which I thought went pretty well. I think the one awkward part was I told my coffee joke, and a big part of it is making fun of tea. And I was like, read the room, asshole. Because like there were people there who were like, they were giving out tea, but like it wasn't just like, oh, it was like this person's custom tea.
Yeah. Not to mention the host of the party used to have a podcast called Mentality. That was all about tea.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even.
She's like a huge tea person.
Great.
So.
Genius. And I'm just up there like, tea is stupid. Coffee is the ultimate drink.
He literally got booed.
Don't lie. I didn't get booed. No, I didn't.
Booed.
I didn't get
playfully.
booed.
Are you don't remember that?
Booed?
The entire room was like, boo. And then you were like, oh, I got to read the room.
I don't remember getting booed. I remember getting a reaction.
You've eliminated that part of your brain as a stand-up comedian.
I have never bombed. I have never
I wouldn't
bombed.
say it was a bomb. I would say it was us playfully. Yeah. Like
no, we were talking about me and another show. We were talking about people who say that.
I've never bombed.
Yeah, I've never bombed. It's like, honey, you've bombed.
Yeah,
there's no way. Yeah. Well, anyway, no. I mean, I think I didn't think of it as a boo. I guess because I worked with it. Like I played with it. I mean, it was funny. Like I was present. I was in the moment. I couldn't not be present because it was a cozy party. So I'm like staring dead into the eyes of people wearing pajamas.
It was good. Yeah, the boo was playful. You played it off. We all were on your side, even though you were against tea and all. But
I bailed on the joke. I didn't finish the joke.
You did, and that was smart.
Yeah,
that's a smart comedian.
It didn't need to be finished. But anyway, so that was something. I'm trying to think if I have any other updates for everybody. Well, I did something crazy yesterday. I took my one wheel from the east side, Echo Park by Dodger Stadium, to the beach.
What?
I went all the way.
What did you take, the 110?
Yeah, I went on the freeway.
Or the 10, not the 110.
Yeah, I
the
took the 10.
Doesn't go there. The 10.
I was going 70. No, I took basically surface streets. And I definitely almost died. I think I almost died twice.
God.
I do have a motorcycle helmet now, which looks insane. But I like it because I can have a phone call. I can be totally driving on the one wheel and just have a straight up phone call. The person won't even notice.
Isn't that distracting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah. I mean,
Do you ride on the sidewalk or are you on the bike lane?
I strategize. That's the thing about using it is like Google Maps will give you like a bike lane, and then me and Google Maps have very different ideas about what a bike lane is.
Gotcha.
In LA, a lot of the bike lanes are just like, how about you die in traffic? Have you thought about just dying?
Well, there's also like palms and rubbish on the bike lanes that make it really hard, I think, sometimes.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a sizable bike lane that's painted, which is honestly already pretty good for LA because a lot of them are just like, there's a bike symbol every quarter mile. Like, you get it. And there's like a part where it's green. So it's like kind of stands out like, oh, bikes go here. But you're really just in the gutter. Like, you're just in and like, yeah, you're like 2 feet from traffic.
Yeah.
And then, if there's a palm tree there. And so the one wheel is very vulnerable to even the small. So the one way I almost died was I hit a pothole that was very small. I didn't even notice it. It was probably like an inch.
Oh, geez.
So like almost wobbled out under me. So I could have easily
that easy?
fallen into traffic. Great way to die. Get my head run over. And then a guy cut me off so bad in Santa Monica. I was like, I'm literally here. I can like feel the beach. You know how cold it gets, that brisk beach air. And this guy just cuts me off brutally, making a right turn. And then I'm like blasting music, whatever. So I like skid to stop. And then he like turns and then looks back, gets out, doesn't get out of his car, but like puts his head out of the window and yells something at me. And I just said, F off, that was your fault.
Wow.
You effing a-hole.
Oh my God. Peaceful beach environment. No, Santa Monica is like notorious for hating non-cars.
Bro, like, I mean, I don't know. He might have been apologizing, but I doubt it.
What did his face say?
His face.
Like, what did his face look like
his face
from what you
didn't
remember?
look that angry, but it looked more like he was being like, well, you did that. It seemed like he was being like, well, you actually did this. And I'm like, bro, I didn't do anything. The max speed of my vehicle is 25, which is the speed limit. So there's literally no way I was doing anything wrong. You cut me the fuck off because you're an idiot. But yeah, I did yell at the man.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How was the rest of the beach?
Oh, it was
worth it?
It was funny because I went there to do like work with my friend who's actually pregnant, Joanna. You guys know her. She's been on the show before. She's preggo, and it was cool because it was like it was actually a really good conversation. I want to have her on the pod before she has the kid because I've known her over 10 years. She knew me before I stopped drinking. Like I've just known her through so many phases of her life. And we just kind of like a very existential discussion because I'm like, wow, you're like pregnant now. Like this is like a landmark event in our friendship too. It's like we were like getting drunk in New York.
Yeah.
And I would spend the night at her house and get a shirt the next day because I didn't want to wear the same clothes again. And then it's like, then we were like more adults in relationships and she met my like serious girlfriend. And like, now it's like, you're married and now you're having a kid. And it's like, we kind of like got emotional because it was just like, God, it's crazy.
And you're like, I'm still buying shirts the next morning after drinking.
Yeah. I mean, I one-wheeled here. I need a new shirt. I'm tired. I'm sweaty. So
no, that's special though. I feel like it is kind of rare to have, I mean, maybe not, I don't know. Not everybody is lucky or grateful enough to have, grateful is not the word, lucky enough to have like long-term relationships, especially being in LA. I have found that recently. Like I had a friend even that I just knew from college. I've known her for 15 years, which is like crazy to think about now. But having her and she was like, oh yeah, Karla used to do this and this. And it was just like nice to have someone who had those memories that I shared that everyone else that I've known for the last 5 years has like no clue about unless I tell them, which is kind of rare. But yeah, going through the different stages of life and then having the same consistent person, like low-key, that's why I think some people stay in relationships with people just so they can have like a historian for themselves.
I know, right? Yeah, the consistency of it is big. Yeah, I mean, it's cool because, I mean, I have friends who I've known forever, but I might not necessarily be like super close to them or like go to them if I have a problem. Like they're just kind of people I known.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like her, like, she was there for me. I mean, she saw me, like, we were actually laughing about this. I forgot when I went through my breakup, I was like hysterically sobbing. Like I have never like,
oh my God.
Like a maniac. And it's just so funny to look back on something like that because you're like, oh, it's not sad anymore. But
yeah.
Boy, it was something else.
Aww.
It's like I was possessed by a sad demon.
It's sad. Relationship breakups are
sad.
hard.
It was really sad. But anyway, yeah, long-term friendships, amazing things. I mean, that's what I've realized about myself is like I keep a relatively small, tight knit. That's more my energy, and so it's it's good to know you got people like that.
Yeah. When you get older, I think that just naturally happens too. We become more intentional with like our energy because we're like, oh, I'm not doing all the things. So I need to like pick and choose the people I'm giving my best energy towards. Unless I also have friends who like really wear themselves thin and do a bunch of shit still. And I'm just like, no, I need like a core group.
Right.
Ever since the pods really narrowed down your top 8. The pods, your pod.
Oh, the COVID pod.
The COVID pod.
You're the only person I know who says that.
Really?
I haven't heard anyone else talk about the pods.
Well, I mean, it's been some time.
They're talking about the podcasts.
No, the pod. Your pod was like your MySpace top 8 that you were like, who would I risk dying for?
Right. Yeah, the pods. I like it. The pods.
Yeah. Should I tell my story that I told?
Yeah, tell your story that you told
party?
the cozy party. Just a little disclaimer because I want Karla to feel free. I as you guys know, I don't do drugs or drink at all. I think
this is a setup.
I think don't do them, and we don't advocate it. I don't advocate it. I don't condone it. The best life is clean and sober. But
yes.
The reality is the story might have some drug use.
I'm California sober. That's what they say. No, okay, sorry. I was 22. I was going through a very toxic situationship towards the end of it. My friend one day was like, hey, there's this music festival in Costa Rica happening in like 2 weeks. And I was like, word, I need to like eat, pray, love my way out of this like toxic situation. And I was a photographer back then. But I didn't own a camera. So I literally, I was working for a company that let me use their equipment.
It seems like an issue. I'm not an expert.
Do you remember the school photographers? It's called Life Touch.
Yes, Life Touch.
I used to work
oh
for
my
Life
God,
Touch.
Life Touch.
For like, oh God, it was hilarious. That's a whole different story where kids would come in and be like, I'd be like, okay, 1, 2, 3. And they'd be like, and I'm like, yeah, that's not like an approved pose.
Right. I want to
like,
give the bird. I want to give the bird.
Yeah. I was like, I cannot afford to go to this festival, but I am going. I'm going.
She's going.
I'm going. So I bought my own camera, which doesn't make, it's girl math. It's girl math.
Step 1 to be a photographer.
Girl math. Can't afford to go to Costa Rica, but buys a new DSLR camera. It's an investment. I buy the camera. I barely know how to use it. I start emailing the festival and I'm like, hey guys, I'm a professional media photographer that covers events. I get 1,000 clicks on my page per week, which I didn't even have a page and they never asked for it. I would love to cover your festival. And they were like, okay.
Yeah.
And so they flew me to Costa Rica. I camped there for a week by myself.
Right.
But the kicker is that when I got there and we were shuttling to the festival, they were like, it hasn't rained in 6 weeks. It's been a drought. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
The next day, it torrentially downpoured for days.
No.
I lost my tent. I had to sleep sitting up in a chair. All of these things started happening.
God.
My boots from Forever 21 were caked because it was all clay in Costa Rica.
Not the F-21 boots.
I had those for years and they withstood this trip too.
They handled it.
But they were like casted on my feet. And when I took them off, this is bad. I didn't even tell this at the story. When I took them off, my feet looked like dead people's feet. They were so white and like shriveled. Sorry, guys.
Nasty.
Anyways, that was just an extra detail for no reason. After a few days, I started to feel really lonely and was like, oh my God, like I wish so-and-so was here experiencing this with me. And
Your
I was
ex.
just having all this, I was having all this existential like crises.
Existential, that's fun.
You're at a music festival, you're under the stars, you're alone.
Oh no, I was saying existential. Sorry, bad pun. I'll kick myself off the pod.
I'm glad you emphasized it was worth it. And then I was like, you know what? I need to like figure this out. I need to like meet people. The next day I got this terrible sunburn. I escaped the festival to a waterfall with like 5 random guys who then like we hitchhiked to another place on a RAV4 and it was like all this
RAV4s were new then. They were a big deal.
Yeah. The guy who picked us up was like obviously American and he looked like he was sitting under like a lizard lamp for days. Like his skin was like leather.
Oh, I know those guys. That also see everyone who lives in Miami. You're
Yeah.
like, why do you look like that, bro?
We had a teacher like that in high school. The rumor was that she had tanning lamps as her regular lamps in her house. That was like the rumor. Anyway, so he picked us up. We went to his wine thing, all of this. I had like this amazing time meeting all these people. And then we got back to the festival. And I went my separate ways from everyone. And I was lonely again. And I was like, this is lonely. And so that night I was supposed to go take photos of a band. And this girl I met.
Are you like at a campsite? Like, where are you when you're lonely?
We're in the Costa Rican rainforest. And it's like a part of the rainforest that isn't an official campsite. It's just like there's an opening where the festival is, and there's like 3 different stages. It's not huge, but it's not like
So you have like a tent in the rainforest.
Well, I had a tent for the first night, and then my one person $40 tent, when the rain hit, got destroyed. So I had to like sit under like in the common areas where people would eat dinner, we would have like chairs, and everything was sustainable. So like a bunch of us whose tents got ruined just sat in the common area overnight, just like sitting up like this in a chair, like sleeping.
Oh my God.
Like there was nowhere to sleep. And then some people had cars there who were locals that they would be like, come sleep in the van overnight. And like, so there'd be like 8 people in a van just sitting there like sardines, like trying to like escape the rain.
I don't know I guess to escape the rain.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're at the campsite. You're feeling lonely again.
I'm feeling lonely. I'm going to take photos of this thing. I meet this girl and she's like, yo, you want some shrooms? This is where the drugs come in. Do you want some shrooms? And I was like, yeah, F it. Like, I need something. So I take these mushrooms and I go and I sit up on this roof and I'm taking photos of this, which I don't recommend. Like, if you do drugs, not to maybe climb roofs. That's kind of a me thing. But like, not
don't
the
do
safest.
drugs, but extra stupid to climb a roof
Yeah.
on them.
So I'm on the roof taking photos. And I start to get really scared and I start having like a little bit of a bad trip. And I'm like, oh my God, now I'm really alone.
Yeah.
Like in the world, not just like here at the festival, like in the world, I am alone. And I'm looking at the stars and I'm looking at all the people in the crowd who have like their significant others dancing with each other.
I've been there.
And I'm like, from my view, like looking at me from an outer body experience, like I imagine I'm just like a cartoon, one of those wide-eyed cartoons that are like really teary-eyed, like from Adventure Time.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like
a giant water drop welling.
just like
it's a huge like.
And so I was like in a bad place, and then I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. So I like climb down and I go to the VIP media area, and there's like clean porta potties there, but everything is super dark. There's no lights anywhere outside of like the main stages. So I like go in the porta potty and I'm in there and I'm like, oh my God. Like, what is going to happen to me and this and that. And I start going to the bathroom and I'm like, why are my legs so wet? Like, I just felt so much wetness like on my legs.
Okay.
And so I was like, what is happening? What is happening to me? And I opened the porta potty door, and like the one light that like shines in barely, I realized that I was peeing on top of the porta potty lid. Like the seat lid was down and I was just peeing on top of it and it was splashing back up at me. And I literally looked around and nobody was there to witness it except for me on shrooms. And I just started hysterically laughing and was just like, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I am going to be okay. And the rest of the trip, like that got me out of the bad trip. The rest of the trip was super like mushroom trip, but also general Costa Rica trip was super awesome. And that's what it took for me to like know that I was going to get over my ex and be okay. I was just pissing on a porta potty toilet seat on shrooms.
Yeah. I mean, because that's
what a sentence.
I get it though, because I think like, I don't know. One thing my dad has always said is like, if we're going back and forth about something or I'm being anxious, like my dad will just hit a point where he's done and he's not like shitty about it, but he's just like, it'll work itself out. Yeah. And I just kind of feel like that's really, sometimes that's kind of all there is to say you're spinning your wheels. And I feel like the warm piss emanating from your body, covering your body was a way of saying like, I generate my own warmth.
I am cleansed.
I am cleansed. I don't know.
It's true. That's
really funny though.
I think you're right. Everybody gets tired of something at some point, or like, you're like, okay, something clicked, and you're not always going to get the answers you need. Like sometimes the closure is just you letting it go.
Well, and I think in that story, like you found strength in that moment because it was like, you know, I guess the thing about it is because the turn of the story is we're all expecting when you pee yourself to open the door and things to get worse, which is that everyone will see you, right? Like that's actually the shame. But it was kind of like this moment of embarrassment and shame becomes really funny because it's like, actually, you just pissed on yourself with no further implications.
Right. And then the rain just covered it up because it was still like nobody
raining.
knew.
Oh, and it was still pouring.
It was still raining.
Oh my God.
It rained up until like the last 2 days, and then like the craziest sunsets I've ever seen in my life. From that point on, I was just like,
what a story.
Yeah, that's me at 22.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I did. We got a juicy little up for you today. Our second story of the day. Karla's going to read this. AITA for refusing to take down my ex-GF's painting. But first, guys, please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon. Patreon.com/AITA pod. Over 200 bonus episodes. Every single episode ad-free. We got a Discord community. I mean, I've been wanting to say this, but I think I want to open up the Discord to everyone. So let me know what you guys think. I just kind of feel like I want more talking and discussion. And
are you unsatisfied with the current Discord?
I'm just like, you know, I want this to be a community, and I love doing the listener submission episodes, and I just want people to I think it'd be more fun. So I feel bad because the patrons like pay for it. So I'm kind of actually talking to the patrons when I say, or let me know if you're like, I want to be in the Discord, but I don't want to pay, Danny.
Yeah. But if you open it up to everyone, then the patrons wouldn't have to pay for that, or they're just that's just like a perk.
Free. Yeah, it would just be.
Gotcha.
Oh, maybe we could have a Patreon only Discord channel. I don't know.
That would be good. Yeah.
You don't seem super technology girl.
I'm new to Reddit. Actually.
Oh, you're new to Reddit. Okay, that's where I read
I've like
that.
lingered on Reddit. I'm like a ghost on Reddit where I just like go on and consume. So I haven't interacted a lot with Reddit.
Got it.
Until this.
I had to pull Karla off the AITA. What is it called? AITA Sims?
Yes.
And it's literally situations from The Sims. And I was like, okay, we could do that, I guess, as a gimmick episode. But that's sort of
fun. I don't think we have to do it as a gimmick episode.
I thought they were funny.
It's a lot about killing their families, drowning people.
AITA for killing the Grim Reaper's family.
No, it said, am I the asshole? The Grim Reaper gave me HIV. Would I be the asshole if I killed off or took care of his entire staff?
Like, bro, what? What? Why does his staff have to get it?
But a lot of it was about killing, which is
that's one
dark.
of the funnest parts about The Sims, right?
It is, and I almost took it a dark way, but I won't.
Here we go. AITA for not telling my BF I'd break up with him if he went on a trip with his female friends. Uh-oh.
Not good.
My boyfriend went on a trip with some female friends. I told him it made me uncomfortable and that I didn't want him to go, especially since he used to hook up with one of them. He insisted it's fine. I'd already decided I was going to break up with him, but I wanted to get my stuff from his place before doing that. So I decided to wait till he got back. I didn't want to end things over text or a phone call. When he returned, I picked him up and gave him back the key to his place and broke up with him. When he returned, I picked him up and gave him back the key to his place and broke up with him. He started crying and realized why. He kept saying nothing happened, but I told him I'd made it clear and he chose to go anyway. He said I should have told him I would break up and that if he had known, he wouldn't have gone. I told him I didn't want to control him or threaten him, and that's why. Now I'm wondering if I was wrong for not being more upfront about the breakup. AITA.
Well, that's funny. I didn't want to control him, but I was telling him not to go.
I mean, no, she didn't tell him not to go, right?
That's true.
She said, well, what did she say?
I told him it made me uncomfortable.
That's clean.
And that I didn't want him to go. No, that's valid.
Clean in my regime, which it's like, hey, look, I'm uncomfortable with you doing that. I would say that if I had a girlfriend, God willing, I would say, you know, like, yeah, that you're going to go on a trip with your ex, like, bro, that makes me uncomfortable. I don't.
Well, it's not his ex. It's someone he used to hook up with. So that's not necessarily an ex. And also, I think saying I told him that it made me feel uncomfortable and that I didn't want him to go doesn't equate to I will end our entire relationship over this. Those are two different levels of I don't want you to go.
Yeah, on the one hand, I'm like, you know, that doesn't seem that unreasonable on his side.
Right.
But I'm like, it kind of depends on a lot. And then I'm like, that is pretty subjective. Like, yeah, so I have a girlfriend, I've been with her for a year. And before we were together, she used to hook up with this guy and he's going to be there and I'm not going to be there.
Yeah. That's the other thing is, did he invite her? Was there ever an opportunity for her to go? Because that would have been a good compromise is, hey, why don't you just come?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I kind of don't think it's hard for me. I mean, Sarah always said this, you can break up with anyone for any reason.
Yes.
And, she didn't want to ultimatum him and that's kind of her right.
I think that's valid. You should never ultimatum anybody. I don't think that's right. I mean, I think like
that's bold.
Yeah, ultimatums are kind of like if you have to do an ultimatum, it's like flipping a coin. Like I'm going to flip this coin, but you already really know the decision. That's what I feel like ultimatums are anyway. Maybe there's certain situations that I can't think of.
Well, what comes to your mind when you say that? That doesn't seem...
For an ultimatum? Like this? Like
I need you to quit drinking.
Go on this trip, I'm going to break up with you. First of all, if he said, well, I'm going to go anyway, right? That's an answer. But if he says, I'm not going to go, I don't know. Like, I feel like then if somebody gave me an ultimatum, let's put it this way. If I was ultimatumed, I would be like, maybe there are areas.
Backing off?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I'm thinking
I'm just like, I feel
need
like,
you to
how
stop
does it get
drinking.
to that point?
Like someone with a drinking problem. I need you to stop drinking.
That is an ultimatum that is acceptable, yes.
When you hit the ultimatum, you are basically, you're right. I think what you're on about is if you've hit that point, you're having serious issues otherwise.
Yeah, it's already gone too far, I think.
Yeah, of course. Nobody says I'm leaving you if you don't quit drinking unless that person's drinking has been a sustained problem.
And probably you've said that before and they've continued drinking.
That's probably true.
Right?
It's not your first ultimatum.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I feel like it does. I mean, to see his side, it does seem like this was a relatively innocent trip. I'm guessing it wasn't he doesn't say either way that it wasn't exclusively female friends, which I think would be a little odd. I would be like, really?
Oh, yeah.
You're on a trip with all the opposite gender that you're attracted to? That does seem a little sus, just unusual. So I'm assuming it's not that. Someone he was there with, he hooked up with, maybe it was some time ago. She's like, that makes me uncomfortable. And he went anyway. I mean, he said it was fine. And I guess he said it was fine thinking like, well, yeah, you're uncomfortable, but it's going to be fine. Like nothing's going to happen.
Right.
Like I'm not going to hook up with her.
And that's where I think my issue lies in here is if you don't trust your boyfriend enough to go on a trip with someone he used to hook up with, that is not about the girl he used to hook up with. If he goes on any trip and you don't trust him to go on this trip, why would you trust him to go on any trip?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like this is a trust thing. I think I understand where both of them are coming from for sure. Because there's also a lot of questions like, did he call her at all while he was on the trip? Was he checking in with her?
Exactly.
Was he texting her throughout the trip? Like, or was it no contact for 7 days and then he comes back to find out he's being broken up with? Like,
exactly. It's sort of like, how did this play out in terms of, did he validate her discomfort as well? Mm-hmm. Because if he was just like, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, but it isn't necessarily just fine. Like that can be addressed, like with all the things that you just said. Like, I'll call you and check in. I have no feelings for this person. And like, ultimately, I do think when someone expresses something like that, there's a level of like, we're negotiating this. Like it's an understandable source of discomfort. Like that's something that you engage with in that way. And if it was relatively close in time.
Yeah, I guess I'm coming from the perspective of somebody who has had friends with benefits that I can like assuredly say, is that a word? Assured?
We'll get it to you. We're going with it.
Assuredly said, if I went on a vacation with them without my significant other, nothing would happen because it's in the past. And it was purely like, we did that thing at that one time and there's no feelings there.
Yeah.
So I understand the feeling of being able to be him and go and nothing happened.
Sure. And it was just a hookup.
Yeah. And like how long have they been boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yeah, we
Is
don't
this
have a lot of
years?
info.
Is it months?
Top comment, NTA, okay, cardiologist 129. You shouldn't have to give your boyfriend an ultimatum for him to respect your boundaries.
I agree.
Also, considering he realized right away you were breaking up with him, kind of telling.
I mean, that second sentence is like kind of bogus.
Well,
started crying and realized the reason. Like that doesn't sound like he knew right away. It just seemed like he was sad that it was happening.
I think so. And these aren't boundaries. I don't think that's a boundary. You don't get to have a boundary that's a rule or a standard or an expectation. It's not a boundary.
Yeah. Boundaries are yourself.
Don't touch my hair.
Yeah. Don't touch my hair. I don't think you can. Boundaries are not putting actions on other people.
Exactly. That's a rule. Just top descending comment, Kiki Kiera. For me personally, I'd say YTA. I'm bisexual, and if my partner was to say I couldn't have friends of any gender I'm capable of being attracted to, then I wouldn't be able to have any friends at all, and going on a trip with friends is normal. That said, if you're not going to be okay with him having female friends and hanging out with them in that way, then I do agree you should break up so he can be with someone that will trust him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm kind of like, unless he really didn't address it, then I'm like, whatever. I'm like, yeah, it sounds like it's incompatibility. It sounds like she's very controlling and jealous. But if he just kind of was like, I do think it's like a thing where if like someone's like, hey, I'm really uncomfortable with that. And then if he just kind of bulldozed that and was like, it's fine, bye.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, yeah, bro, like you didn't really like hear her. And then she's not required to like force that conversation, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that she's the asshole, even though that's a harsh term. Gentle, she's the asshole. Because also the other thing is like to know you're going to break up with him the moment he like decided to go on the trip anyway, and then want to do it in person the day he got back from probably what was
Pretty
a really
brutal.
fun vacation.
Pretty
Like
brutal.
that's brutal.
I think I think I can meet you there. I mean, it does seem like she wanted to like knife him.
Yeah.
This feels a little bit like she wanted to draw blood here.
Yeah, her actions afterwards speak towards her actions before.
AITA for not telling my BF I'd break up with him if he went on a trip with his female friends. I think we agree that it is YTA.
Sorry, babes.
All right, guys, here is Karla with the painting situation. Rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. 200 plus bonus episodes. Every single episode ad free. We'll see you on there. Here's Karla.
Am I the asshole for refusing to take down my ex-GF's painting?
Oh.
I, 31 male, and my wife, 29 female, are moving into our first real house. As we were unpacking / sorting things out into different rooms yesterday, she found a painting I've had for years and asked for the story behind it. Note: I've had this painting displayed for as long as she's known me. It hung in our first apartment we lived in after we got married, and she had never had a problem with it before. That is foreshadowing. My college ex-girlfriend was an artist and made the painting for me a long time ago. It's of a park we used to frequent when we were together, and it is very good craftsmanship-wise, so I kept it after we broke up.
Nice park.
Good art is hard to find.
True.
When I told my wife, she got upset and asked why I wanted a reminder of my ex-girlfriend in our house.
Yeah.
She said it felt gross and that if she'd known who made it, she wouldn't have let me hang it up in our previous apartment's bedroom.
Not the bedroom.
Ay, ay, ay. I was surprised because I didn't think it was a big deal. That relationship ended almost 10 years ago, and I really just like the painting. It's not like I think of my ex-girlfriend when I look at it. I've just gotten attached to it over the years because it's been everywhere I've been and captures a nostalgic place I used to be fond of when I was in college. I tried to explain this to my wife, but she didn't want to hear it and said she felt icky and didn't want it in her house. This made me frustrated because it's literally just a piece of art. In the heat of the moment, I told her she was overreacting and being dramatic and insecure. That's a lot of bad words. I said that she controls most of our decor, which is fine, but that I was allowed to hang my own things up too. She then stormed off into the other room, and we haven't really been talking since. Am I the asshole here?
Very, very good situation. I mean, I'll throw out some early dings on, I think you kind of called this out, overreacting, dramatic, insecure. These are all conflict violations.
Those
Stick
are
to
hot
you.
button words.
Stick to you. Hear the other person. This is how she feels about it, and he's not really validating that and instead trying to invalidate it. The reactions are too much. That's what overreaction is. Dramatic is really another way of saying overreaction. And insecure is like, insecure, I think if she was truly secure, I mean, I don't think she should have said it. He shouldn't have said it. I'm not defending saying it.
Yeah.
But I don't know that is it accurate, I guess, is a question.
I think that there is some insecurity here in terms of her being bothered by it. Like, so this actually happened to me when I was in college.
What?
Yes. Same ex from the story.
Wow.
From previous. He had a painting in his room. Very brief story. He had a painting in his room and it was like this really good abstract-ish painting. It was like blue and white and it had what you could see was like a jellyfish kind of thing.
Okay.
It was really nice, right?
Sounds good.
And when we were friends before we were dating, he told me, I was like, oh, that's a really great painting. He's like, yeah, my ex, who's still in high school at the time, is a really good artist.
You're in college.
We were in college,
Okay.
yeah. We were freshmen in college.
But,
We were freshmen in college.
Okay.
She was a junior in college. I mean, in high school. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not great.
So 2 years difference, right?
Yeah, I was like a senior dating a sophomore.
They dated, when it was senior, sophomore. So now he's a freshman in college. She's a junior. Anyways, the painting was really good. Like,
it was good.
It was like a professional painting. And I was like, oh, wow, it's so good. And he's like, yeah, you can like see the outline of her body.
Oh, boy.
And you could see like in the details, like an outline of her body.
You can see how hot she is from it.
It's very abstract.
She's really hot.
Anyways, after we started dating and he moved into a different house, he had it up in his bedroom. And then I started to be insecure about it and be like why? But it was mainly because I was like, it's like kind of sensual. Like it's a sensual painting of like her body outline.
Sensual.
Like this is weird. But I was insecure. So I can say that it came out of an insecurity for me that I was like, this isn't even like that long ago that they were dating. And it's a sensual painting. I feel uncomfortable. Even though I know he cares about me, I still don't want to like see that, especially, you know, like when we're hooking up and stuff. It's like looking over and thinking of him being with another girl.
Yeah, I guess I think what I'm struggling with in terming it insecure is I'm like, wouldn't any really emotionally healthy person with a good sense of their boundaries find that to be a bit threatening?
Yeah.
Like, we're in the bedroom. The bedroom is classically a sacred space, right? Like,
yeah, the bedroom is too far.
Go to any couple's house, right? You know the rule. Nobody has to say it.
Mm-hmm.
You can look in if the door's open, but you don't step in. You don't step in.
I'm so the opposite. I just like wander people's houses when I go there.
You'll go into the main bedroom?
Not like all the way looking around, but I definitely look into rooms and see what it's like. If the door is closed, I won't open it.
If the door's open, you would actually go into the main bedroom?
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm going to look around. I want to see your house. I'll say, give me a tour. And then usually they give me a tour.
Oh, give me a tour. No,
but otherwise, I literally will just say like, oh, I want to see. And I look around and they're fine with it.
And you would just go into their bedroom?
I feel like you're making it weird. Like I would just like look in and like look at what it's like.
Yes, look in. Yeah, you can look in, but you don't go into the bedroom.
Oh, yeah, no. Unless there's a bathroom in there, then I'm going in to go look at the bathroom.
Well, if they say to go look at, I guess I mean like if someone says like, yeah, go, that's fine, go look around my house. I'm going to walk into any other room.
Yeah.
I'll walk into the game room. I'm not going to walk into their bedroom. I'll look in.
Game room. Ooh la la.
I don't know. I feel like there's a barrier. I can feel it.
I feel that. It's a privacy barrier.
It's a privacy barrier. Anyway.
The door's open, so.
The thing is, I'm like, is it insecure? You know, is it insecure when, you know, if for instance, it feels like, I'm trying to think of another. I mean, that example is great because it kind of like cuts to the middle of the road here where it's like, okay, but that painting wasn't just a painting. It had elements of her body in it. It's
right.
like, the painting contains a bit of lust for your ex. Mm-hmm. Now, it's one thing, I think it's okay and it's normal to have a little bit of lust for your ex inside of you. I think that's not crazy. That's just part of life. You love them or whatever, but you don't tell your current partner about that. You don't bring that up.
Yeah, and in this sense, he didn't, right? Because this is a more of a straightforward... Oh, that's hilarious. This is more of a straightforward painting, but like it is still intimate in a way because he's like, it's of a park we used to frequent when we were together, which feels very intimate and very like she thought of it enough to paint a permanent memory for him of their time there.
It has a wistfulness and nostalgia. It's kind of like, you know, I don't think it's really like, I mean, anything can work in a trusting relationship.
Agreed.
But it just, to me, it's like, okay, it seems like if I'm in a trusting relationship and I go, you know, can I tell you about this one really positive memory I had with an ex? That feels fine. It's like, yeah, of course you had positive memories with them. That's totally normal. But if like they did that every day, I would be like, okay, like, have you noticed you're like literally telling me about your ex every day?
Yeah,
And
but
to
I wouldn't
me,
say a painting is doing that.
it's present every day. She has to see it every day. I'm like, get that the fuck out of my house.
I think
I kind of
that-
understand that.
I think in this case, I don't think the wife is an asshole for not wanting it up. But I do think it's also like, I don't know, when you're married to someone and you love them, you also love their past. And I think that this is part of that. I don't think you need to like be like, I have to love your ex-girlfriends and be okay with everything. But like, if it's just a painting of a park, it's like, I don't know. I hope to be in a relationship where I love somebody enough to be like, I'm so happy that you had that part of life. And that's all it is, because we're married and that person is long gone and we make our own memories. Like, that does not have to have anything to do with you. Being in the bedroom, that's an asshole move. Saying those
So
things to
you'll
her
give her
about
the
being dramatic and overreacting, that's an asshole move. But I think,
So you'll get it out of the bedroom.
yeah, 100% should not
But you
be in
want
the
it in the
bedroom.
house. I guess
I want it
feel like-
somewhere I'm not going to see it every day. Guest room. Guest
Okay.
bathroom.
I could live with that. I can more live
Mud
with that.
room
For me,
behind
it
in the
feels more
closet.
like, fine. It's your thing. It's your memory. Put it somewhere for you then. Like your office, if that's a situation, like something like that. But like, don't put it in my fucking space.
Yeah.
I feel like I can meet in the middle there. Nonetheless, I don't think we were really going to argue about the actual situation, but I think the painting question is interesting. I feel like how it's described is a big thing. And it does seem, in his slight defense, it's not like I think of my ex when I look at it. It captures a nostalgic place. So that is detaching me a little bit. Because he didn't say, if he was like, we used to walk through it every day.
Yeah, like we effed under that tree.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the fuck tree, actually.
And how big is this painting? That's what I want to know.
That's
Is
also
it like
a fair question.
Is it like a 16 by 20? Is it massive?
Sistine
20
Chapel.
by 30?
Sistine Chapel.
Because 20 by 30.
Rooftop of the Sistine
like
Chapel.
Main piece.
Yeah.
Over the bed.
It's about.
That's what's icky, is not knowing that that's what that meant the whole
It's
time.
about an acre, the painting, babe.
It's a mural.
It's a mural. So top comment, ESH, Dragon Queen 666. I trust her. ESH, she's blowing this way out of proportion, but you didn't need to hang it in the bedroom. Put it in your office or something where she won't have to look at it, and find something that you both like to hang in the bedroom.
Yes.
Top dissenting comment, that one Valorant guy. No assholes here. She's valid to be upset. Some people keep viewing an ex's present or belongings as some form of attachment. Is that a view or is that the truth?
I don't know. It seems like, I also think guys are just guys and can just be like, I like this painting.
I have a jacket. I have a jacket that my ex gave me. I don't really, at this point, it's not about her.
Yeah. Not to mention, does she have any jewelry from previous exes? Does
She
she
gave
have
me the jewelry
clothes?
back. Actually, it was kind of brutal.
That's
have it.
brutal. You should pawn it.
I have random jewelry. It looks like I murdered some girl.
You should pawn it.
Like, why I should pawn it?
Or bury it in a hole somewhere and whisper into it and just put it to rest.
Yeah.
Or donate it.
I also believe when you say you have no attachment to your ex, I have clothes from my ex that she left and never came to get. My wife wears them and knows they were hers. Okay, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that, babe. No, I'm not pretending you're her. Just put that on. Put that on, babe. Like, that's
I've
weird.
been there.
You do that?
Well, not that, but my ex, my most recent ex, brother let me borrow a jacket, and after we broke up, I kept it, like his brother's jacket, and I wore it in LA for so much time because it was so cool. It was like a custom, like one of a kind thing.
Ooh.
People would compliment on it all the time.
Can't get rid of that.
And then one day he messaged me on Instagram and was like, "Hey, do you still have that jacket? Can you mail it back to me?" And I was like, "Damn it!"
No, it's rightfully
So
is.
I mailed it back.
So this guy, she doesn't care in the slightest. She actually bought one. Oh wait. My wife wears them and knows they were hers. She doesn't care. She actually bought one of the same shirts, but in a larger size and slightly different print. At no point do I ever think about my ex wearing any of the shirts she left, nor do I wish I had my ex instead of my wife. It just depends on the person. Talk it out like adults. If she truly cannot stand it came from your ex, ditch it. If you can convince your wife to mutually agree to keep it somewhere else, do that. At the end of the day, what's more important to you, a painting or your wife's feelings and security? Yeah,
That's valid.
I think it's valid, and I think this insecure, secure thing, and it kind of goes into this boundaries thing. I'm like, I don't think it's fair to label her as insecure or not.
Agreed.
I think if it just depends on so many things, but I'm like what else have you said about the ex? Because I could start to lean like, okay, she's making a mountain out of a molehill here, and it does seem like he's relatively, but on the other hand, the way he invalidates her feelings, I'm like, well, it kind of sounds like you're a prick and she might not trust you that much, because how are you supposed to trust someone who said every time you have a reaction, they're like, actually, your reaction is incorrect.
Yeah, that's also true. That is very telling. Like, I do think it's interesting with these posts because we are only hearing one side of the story, right?
I know.
So they are manipulating our understanding of what's happening. They could be saying anything that makes them seem like they're not the asshole, even though they're coming on here asking if they are. But in little sentences like that, where I said she's dramatic and insecure, like you're kind of revealing yourself to be an unworthy narrator.
Well, I actually don't think the narration is questionable. I think he doesn't realize, he says, in the heat of the moment, I told her she was overreacting.
That's true.
And being
He
dramatic
admitted to
and
that.
insecure. He also said, and I thought this was odd, this made me frustrated. And I'm like, damn, you're kind of frustrated. I guess she said she felt icky, and that is a little bit shitty.
Yeah, and
Like if she said it makes me feel hurt, or it makes me feel vulnerable, it makes me feel insecure. But icky is kind of saying like your painting's disgusting. Like it's a little shady.
I would say that icky is a way of just saying all those things in one term. Icky can feel just like a discomfort, I think. Like icky is like, I don't know exactly what I'm feeling, but I know I don't feel good.
That sounds a million times better than icky.
For
though.
sure, but
I feel
she
like there's
said
a
icky.
dismissiveness to it. But yeah, it's not okay how he reacted. I think we're aligned here. AITA for refusing to take down my ex-GF's painting. I think that this needs to be compromised and negotiated, and I think OP is not understanding that. And for these reasons, I'm at YTA.
I'm gonna soft agree with that. Yeah, it feels like there is no asshole, but that would be him. I
think he's the asshole for calling her dramatic.
Yes,
and
100% on that. I can agree with
really
that.
harmful. That's really harmful, and probably the root of the insecurity.
Yeah, he needs to let go of the painting. Sorry, bud.
Guys, please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon. Over 200 plus bonus episodes. Rate, review, subscribe. Give us 5 stars. Much love. We're going to wrap things up. AITA for beating my girlfriend's brother at a game when I would normally let him win. When I would visit my GF's house, I would sometimes play video game with her 12-year-old brother. I would normally let him win. This is like Call of Duty, etc.
Come on.
I was visiting a few days ago. Her little bro had 2 of his friends over, and they were talking about me. He told them how bad I was at games, how it must make me mentally disabled. He used way more offensive language. He said my girlfriend must be stupid to be dating me too.
Oh my god.
That is the most little kid logic. She's probably dumb too because he suck at games. It's like, what? I could hear his friends laughing. It was quite hurtful as I had tried to be friendly. A bit later, I said to him, want to play some games, buddy? And he acted polite, but I could see his friends laughing to themselves after I beat him. I played Call of Duty and did not go easy. His friends were laughing and he was on the verge of tears before he stormed off to his room. Girlfriend wasn't happy. Later in the car, she accused me of deliberately making him cry. I told her I wasn't trying to do that. I just didn't like how he was talking about me or her. AITA. My God.
Yep.
Oh, she also said he's just a kid and I should have left it. Bro.
You play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Go on. Who's playing the stupid game?
The kid.
Because
by
he's
saying
talking
that.
trash?
Yeah, talking trash. You could put in your place.
I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I think just to go to this concept broadly, the idea of letting people win games to me, is foreign to me.
I agree.
I'm not going to let a girl win a game.
No,
Is
I think that's
bad?
good. No,
like,
I would never ever want someone to let me win. Unless it was like the last lifeline I was holding on to in this world where I needed the win.
Yeah.
Give me the win. But like, no, I'm a very competitive person. The satisfaction is knowing you won fairly.
Well, that's the thing though, on a date, you're supposed to let a girl win. I've never done it.
No, I would prefer to lose.
Been single for many years. So why, I don't know. I'm just like, yeah, why would I I would sooner, like, to me, like, and in my family, we usually make rules. Like, we change the rules of games to optimize them. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I want to create an interesting battle.
Yeah.
So I'll change the rules. Like, I'll play left-handed, like whatever.
Yeah, because I do think also, I mean, this is with sports in general too, like on a national professional level, it's like, it's not fun when the same person wins all the time. If someone's dominating, that's not fun.
If you're just annihilating them, what's the fun in that?
But it's also not fun to know that someone's letting you win, because then it's also like, what's the point of playing then? Oh, to have fun. Whoops.
Like, I'm pretty good at ping pong. Not like really good, but like pretty dang good.
Okay.
And I can play decently left-handed.
Okay.
You know?
Where was this going? You just wanted to brag about your
I just had a
ambidextrous
memory.
ping
Yeah, I just
pong.
want you guys to know I'm pretty good at ping pong because I'm not good at any other sport.
What about pickleball? That's pretty close on like a bigger level.
My dad is so into pickleball that it turns me off to it. It's like, okay, we got it.
I hurt my knee playing.
It's like an old folk game. Oh, Daddy, I play pickleball with my friends. Okay, we get it, Natalie, but like, it's still my dad's game. He was playing it like fucking 5 years ago. No, but it's fine if you like pickleball, but it's a wiffle ball game. Don't come to me like you're playing a real sport where there's a goddamn wiffle ball.
It's funny. I played for the first time recently and it was like very fun to watch because of people's personalities. Like
the pickleball.
Oh yeah, but it was fun to play.
It's very fun.
I play tennis, the big boy sport.
Yeah, tennis, that's a sport, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, Daddy, but my community of pickleball. Actually, Drew plays pickleball too, has been on the show. But anyway, yeah, what was I going to say? I remember one time, like, I can be a motherfucker when I play. And I remember I was just like annihilating my girlfriend playing right-handed. And then I switched to left-handed and I was still annihilating her. And it like got to a point where, like, I don't know if it was my trash talk or what, I was making it not fun.
Well, I was going to say that, yeah, I think there's also a difference between, because there's the mercy rule, right? Where like, you know, you're going to win. You're already winning by a lot. You don't have to dig in your heels. And like, if you want personal scores and stuff like that, play by yourself if you know you're going to beat someone. But I think like letting the person win versus taking it easy on them and winning anyway is a lot different. Because it's definitely not fun if it's like, why'd you even ask me to play if you knew that you were just going to like stomp on me? That seems
That's
like,
fair.
you know.
I'm struggling. I think it's in me. I don't think I can practice the mercy rule.
Then just don't play games with people you know are going to be upset about because it's not fun if somebody's just like.
Well, I'm like, why don't we come up with a different game?
Why don't you play a team sport so you're on the same team?
Yeah, that's good. You're right. I mean, it's been a while since I've gotten in trouble for being a merciless monster.
I will say as a woman, we do appreciate dates, especially in the beginning, that are team related because that's what a partnership is. It's like being on the same team and how you can work together to achieve a common goal. And it's not about one person winning or losing.
See, I think fundamentally a relationship is a battle and I want to win.
Oh, well, then that explains a lot, folks. Like, subscribe so Danny can keep winning. Please help me.
I'm looking for a wife who wants to be in a constant battle. Won't that be fun?
And lose.
Yeah. And lose.
Okay, I think the fact that he cried isn't really on him. It's Call of Duty. You're 12. You need to like nut up and be like,
Nut up.
I mean, if you're gonna cry,
I heard that term. Nut up.
You really? You're gonna cry over someone beating you? I think he was just embarrassed because he was talking trash, and then it was proven wrong.
Well, and what does it say about him if OP is mentally disabled, and then OP then skunked him, embarrassed him, wiped the floor with him? Where does that make him?
Not only that, but
eat his own words.
Not only that, but he was saying he must be mentally disabled, and then still talk trash about him. That's not good. Like if I know, it was just a burn, and like he wasn't really thinking he was, but to like
that's kind of not
its
cool,
own
bro.
issue. Yeah,
that's kind of shitty already, man.
Yo, this guy's on the spectrum. He fucking sucks at Call of Duty. It's like what? Yeah, that's the person I am gonna make cry in a game.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely wouldn't like. I think you're right. I'm trying to think. I guess the way I would apply the mercy rule is this thing of saying like, do we need to agree to play the game interestingly? Like I can make up my own rules for myself to make it interesting. Like if it's versus a 12-year-old, I don't know. I guess that's a problem. I don't feel it romantically because I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to like date my equal. So I'm not going to like I'm not going to go baby mode. Mm-hmm. But like if I was playing a kid, like obviously, or like something like basketball where it's like, yeah, I'm 5'8", I'm tremendous,
right?
And you're 3 feet tall.
But I guess the other thing is though, like the mercy rule is still like implemented because you know that the person's not on your level.
Yeah.
If you have someone who's into it and okay with you like crushing them, that's obvious. But if someone's like, oh, this isn't fun anymore, and you keep crushing them, it's like, okay, like this is now about you. Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah, I think this guy like didn't need to do this though. I think just play Call of Duty. I don't know. He's 12 years old and he's playing Call of Duty. I'm like, did you ever need to let him win? I mean, maybe every now and again, but every time?
I mean, that's my thing is letting him win every time. Normally let him win. That's what he said. Yeah, that's called babying.
Yeah, don't baby him. He's
babying
12.
him, especially
He's
on a
6.
first shooter game. Like that is like, do not make this kid feel like he is the best shooter.
Yeah, he's literally killing people in a game. I think that's absurd. I think this kid got cocky. I think he ate his own words. Mm-hmm. You know, I think though, like this could be a growing moment, and I don't like GF. I don't like what GF said. I think that's not fair. I think what OP said is fair. He's like, I wasn't trying to do that. I didn't like how he was talking about us. And I'm like, yeah, what he was saying was disrespectful. And I think also he should have said something.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing is what he could have done is been like, I heard what you said. I've been letting you win. He could have literally said those words and then played.
Yeah.
With the prefaces of, hey, I've been letting you win, so that the kid is prepared for it, or could keep talking trash and then find out, like fuck around and find out. But I think the kid cried because his friends were laughing at him. Of course. Like that's the peers at that age. That is really hard. But it is also like he probably would have laughed at his other friend if it was happening to one of his friends.
Yes. It's time to grow up.
Yeah.
It's time to grow up. This was an accountability moment. It's like you thought you were so good. You didn't know what it was. You were talking mad trash. You were being mean-spirited, and then you had to eat it all.
Yeah, he's not going to make that mistake again.
AITA for beating my GS brother at a game when I would normally let him win. I think we're lined up here. It's NTA and the brother is...
Yeah, the brother's the asshole.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, he got...
OP's not the asshole.
Exactly. I think it's time served, though. I think he got a fitting punishment. He was embarrassed fully in front of his friends to the point of tears. I think he got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know he's just a kid, but he's a jerk. That's what it says. It's true. Kids are jerks.
When we were in Cancun, there was like kids running around and they were like playing tag. It was kind of cute. You know, you know how you can hear kids play, like it's like running around stuff. And then all of a sudden, one of the kids just goes, "You are gay."
Oh no!
We all just started laughing because it's like, well, they're 10 years old. I mean, what are you gonna say? Well, are we gonna go intervene? But
I also love how it says, "Keep smashing the little shit." LOL.
Absolutely. I mean, it comes to a point where it's like you're gonna be a little monster. All right, guys, that's the app. Karla, thank you so much for joining me. This was a blast.
Thanks for having me.
All right, see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.